You know what's crazy? The moment everything changes in a dog's life isn't when you bring them home as a puppy. It's when they realize they're not your baby anymore. And for Axel, that moment came wrapped in a pink blanket, crying at 3 a.m., stealing all the attention he thought was his forever. When Sarah and Tom first brought Axel home, he was their entire world. This adorable boxer puppy with those big brown eyes would sleep between them every night, cuddle on the couch during movie marathons, and honestly, they treated him like their first child. Sarah would literally carry him around in a designer bag everywhere they went. He was spoiled, loved, and completely convinced he was the center of their universe. And for 2 whole years, he was right. But then Miriam happened. The day Sarah came home from the hospital, Axel knew something was different. He could smell it before she even walked through the door. They had prepared him, or at least they thought they did. They let him smell a blanket that had Miriam's scent, hoping it would ease the transition. But nothing really prepares a dog for the moment when their humans walk in carrying another living being that's about to change everything. And if you're still watching but haven't hit that subscribe button, I have to tell you something. This story gets so much more emotional, and honestly, it would break my heart if you missed the beautiful moments coming up. The way this jealous boxer transforms into the most protective big brother will absolutely melt you. So please do yourself a favor and subscribe, because this channel is all about these heartwarming animal stories that remind us why life is so beautiful. Trust me, you'll want to see where this goes. The first time Axel heard Miriam cry, you could see the confusion in his eyes. His ears perked up, his head tilted, and he looked at Sarah like, "What is that sound, and why are you paying attention to it instead of me?" He was anxious, pacing around the house, trying to figure out his new place in this family. And honestly, there were moments of pure jealousy. When Sarah would feed Miriam, Axel would sit right next to her, nudging her arm with his nose, almost saying, "Hey, remember me? Your first baby?" Tom and Sarah worried constantly during those first few weeks. What if Axel became aggressive? What if he hurt the baby accidentally? What if he never accepted her? These fears kept them up at night, even more than Miriam's crying did. They'd read all the articles, watched all the videos about introducing dogs to newborns, but the reality is always different from the theory. But dogs have this incredible ability that humans sometimes lack. They adapt, they forgive, they love unconditionally. Slowly, something magical started happening. Axel began sitting closer to Miriam when she was on her playmat. He'd watch her with this intense curiosity, like he was studying a fascinating puzzle. When she'd wave her tiny arms around, he'd gently sniff them. When she'd grab his fur with her baby grip, he'd just sit there patiently, never pulling away. It was like he was thinking, okay, maybe this little human isn't so bad after all. As Miriam got older and started crawling, that's when their bond really solidified. She'd crawl straight to Axel, and he'd lie down to be at her level. She started throwing his ball, and even though her throws barely went 3 feet, Axel would chase it like it was the best game ever. He'd bring it back to her, drop it right in front of her tiny hands, and wait with his tail wagging for her to throw it again. Then came the dress-up phase. Now, picture this. A 65-pound boxer sitting completely still while a 3-year-old girl puts bunny ears on his head and pretends to be a doctor checking his blood pressure with her toy stethoscope. Most dogs would run away or get annoyed, but not Axel. He'd sit there like the most patient big brother in the world, letting Miriam do whatever made her happy. Sarah would watch them play together and just laugh. "They're always making me laugh because they're so funny together," she'd say. And it was true.
Miriam would read books out loud, and Axel would lie right next to her, his head on his paws, listening like he understood every word. When Miriam would play doctor, Axel became her most cooperative patient. When she'd feed him treats, he'd take them so gently from her little fingers that you'd swear he understood how fragile she was. But here's the thing that really gets me. Axel became protective. Not in an aggressive way, but in that beautiful big brother way. If Miriam wandered too close to the stairs, Axel would position himself between her and the edge. If she started crying, he'd immediately run to find Sarah or Tom, like he was alerting them that his little sister needed help. He transformed from a jealous only child dog into a guardian angel in fur. Sure, they still get into mischief together. Miriam will sneak Axel food from the table when her parents aren't looking, and he's definitely not complaining about that arrangement. They're partners in crime now, these two, and Miriam tells everyone who'll listen, Axel's my best friend. Now, Sarah and Tom are expecting another baby, and you know what? They're not worried this time because they've seen what Axel is capable of. They've watched him go from jealous and confused to loving and protective. They know he'll do it all over again with a new baby because that's just who he's become. He's not the only child anymore, and somewhere along the way, he realized that being a big brother is actually way better than being the only baby in the house. Think about that for a second. This is a dog who went through his own emotional journey. He experienced loss when he thought he was being replaced. He felt confusion when his routine changed overnight. He probably even felt a little betrayed when his humans brought home this crying, attention-demanding tiny human. But instead of staying stuck in that jealousy, he chose love. He chose to be part of something bigger than himself. This boxer, who once demanded all the attention, now shares it willingly. This dog, who used to sleep between his parents every night, now guards Miriam's bedroom door like a sentinel. This puppy, who was carried around in a designer bag, now carries the weight of being a big brother with so much grace and love that it honestly makes you wonder if we could all learn something from him. Maybe the lesson here isn't just about dogs accepting babies. Maybe it's about how love multiplies instead of divides, how making room for someone new in your heart doesn't mean there's less love to go around. It means there's more. Axel figured that out without anyone teaching him. He just felt it. So here's what I want to know. Do you think dogs can feel jealousy the same way humans do, or is it something completely different? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I'm genuinely curious what you all think about this.